Kitchen chemistry, the atom. Now there are three main parts of the atom, and this is probably the biggest argument I get from most of my campers, is they say, wait a minute, I thought you said atoms were the smallest part of anything. How can you tell me there are things smaller than atoms? Once you get into the parts that make up an atom, it is no longer that thing. So you can break down gold all the way till the atom. You can break it in half, break it in half, break it in half, and break it all the way to the point where it cannot be cut anymore. That's actually what atom means. It's uncuttable. So I cannot get past that atom. Once I go lower than the atom, it's no longer gold or oxygen or nickel. It is particles at that point. So all atoms are made up of the same particles, but once those particles come together, they can make a thing, like gold or oxygen, and then those can come together and make everything in the known universe. So let's talk about those smaller parts when we go below the atomic level. And we have three parts. Now, you have three balloons. Doesn't really matter what color you use for each part. But you ask a student to come over and say, okay, do you know a part of the atom? They might not. Either way, you say, you're going to be in the middle of the atom. Now, atoms are said to have charges. And these charges can actually push things away or bring them together. You're going to be what's called a proton. And this proton starts with what letter? Proton starts with P. So you take your Sharpie marker, and you put here the letter P. And it has a charge. This one actually has a positive charge. So there you go. You hand that to the camper and they stay right there next to you. And then you get another camper. Say, you're also going to be in the middle. This is called the nucleus. Everyone point to the center of your hand and say, nucleus. Nucleus just means middle. You get a nucleus of a cloud, nucleus of a cell, nucleus of an atom just means middle. So here, you are going to be right next to the proton. And what charge do you think you are? And they're going to say negative. They're going to say positive. I'm going to say no. No. You're actually no charge or neutral. So you are a neutron. Ever hear of Jimmy Neutron? That cartoon? Yeah? Here we go. All right, so neutron. Come just learn to do a neutron dance. Starts with the letter N. And then it has no charge. So we put that in the hands of the other camper and they stand right next to you. Now you get another camper and you say, okay, what is the third part of the atom? Now if you notice there's lights coming in the room, these lights use something called electricity. You guys have heard electricity before, right? Well, electricity is made up of little tiny pieces called electrons. Everyone say, electron! Electron, electricity. Electron, electricity. There's no coincidence that they sound the same because electrons make electricity. So here, I barely blow it up. And I tie it off. Now what letter does electron start with? E. So we take an E, put it on our electron. And this is actually the opposite charge of a proton. It's a negative charge. And that's actually why electrons don't fly off in the middle of nowhere, because they're attracted to the proton. So you hand the electron balloon. Now you have these two campers in the nucleus, the neutron and the proton, stand in the middle of the room. Then you take the electron and you have them run around the outside of the room while you discuss that electrons connecting to other atoms is the basis of all chemistry. It's the basis of all existence in the universe. Because this electron connecting to other things is called a bond. Everyone say bond! So when this bond is made, you create everything that we know of, starting with our atoms. So the electrons connecting to other things create bonds that make everything the whole. Now remember, the whole time you're talking, the electron should be running around the room. If the electron slows down, say, keep going! And then every once in a while, you can stop and say, electron, keep going! Make sure they run the whole time. So it's always good to pick a camper that really needs to run, maybe get rid of a little bit of extra energy, and have them be the electron. Then you can also, as the electron's going by, you can say, look, now watch this. If I move the electron out and then do a little turn to another atom and then send the electron back, I just created electricity. You're welcome. There it is, the atom.